Going back to school can be an exciting time, but for some children, the threat of being bullied can make it a dreaded experience. Our next guest, 8-year-old Lelo Mofokeng, penned a book about how he survived bullying. Mofokeng says writing about it was a coping mechanism. He joins us in studio with his mother, Lerato Rakgaba. Also with us is psychologist Cassandra Govender. Good morning.
Morning.
So, if I can may first start with you, Cassandra, just lay the ground for us and give us some context. What is bullying and what are the different forms of bullying?
Sure. So I think to start off, you want to think of bullying as one or more, so it can be a group of people perpetrating violence against someone else, okay? And that can include verbal, physical, emotional, even social abuse, and now cyber, so online bullying as well. But there's two key features, okay? There's going to be an imbalance of power, so someone is going to be stronger than someone else, either because they're physically stronger or they hold some kind of information that they can embarrass someone with, or they're more popular, and it's a repetition of behavior, so it happens more than once.
But does it often happen to children, or are adults also bullied?
Adults are often bullied, so I think it happens in the workplace a lot. I think, yeah, and it definitely happens. It can happen with children, it can happen with teachers, it can happen with CEOs and their business partners, so it happens in all walks of life, I think.
Yeah. And Lelo, just tell us about your book. What inspired your story about your experience with bullying?
Well, it first started off as a journal to help me cope, and I kept it to myself, and my mom came across it, and then she decided to publish it so we can help other people going through the same thing.
And what's the story about?
Me getting bullied
Uh-huh.
by this boy I call Ken. I can't tell you his real name because it's bad.
Yeah, but Mom, just, to give us an idea of how the idea for the book came about, what were some of the signs, or could you tell that Lelo was being bullied?
Well, yes, I could tell, but because he was writing it as a journal or as a book for himself,
yeah.
I came across it. But I could tell because he suddenly didn't want to go to school anymore, and he would have excuses that he's got a tummy ache, and then suddenly the teacher started calling me and saying he's hiding behind tables and all that kind of stuff. So the signs were there, they're always there. You can see the change when a child no longer wants to go to school, they don't love school as they used to. You need to question yourself and what's going on.
But did you find that it was difficult for him to tell you that he's being bullied?
At first he kept it to himself because he said he didn't want to hurt my feelings, but in the end he just told me. Luckily he was able to tell me before it got too bad.
So Cassandra, when your child is being bullied, what do you do? How do you respond to such a situation?
Well, I think our mom here did a very good job, because it is very difficult for children to come forward. They often feel embarrassed and like shame. So I think the first thing you want to do is give them comfort, but often it's hard to address it. You may ask, are you being bullied? Was there something going on at school? And your child may say no, they will deny it. So you have to get a bit creative about how you want to bring it up. So you might find that in your instance you found the diary, but in other instances, if you're watching a TV program and you end up seeing there's some kids being bullied or some kids teasing, you might ask your child, what do you think of that? How do you feel about that? What would you do if you were in that situation? So you want to encourage dialogue, and I think you want to notice signs. So notice, as our mom did here, if there's anxiety, if there's loss of sleep, if there's changes in patterns about school, and then you really want to have an open dialogue. You want to comfort them, you want to encourage them, and you also want to restore their confidence. So you want to remind them that the bad behavior is not theirs, it's the bullies, and that bullying is not unique to them, so it's not something that's wrong with them, and that's why this is happening. A lot of kids get bullied, and it's not okay, but it's not their fault.
And are you finding that schools are coping with cases of bullying? Are they being proactive in how they deal with bullying?
I think schools are trying. I think there's more of an emphasis now on having programs in your school and being very proactive about it. So ensuring that teachers are more vigilant when it comes to bullying, and that they intervene quite quickly, and that you get parents on board. So I think we're trying to put more of an emphasis on it.
So Lelo, about your book, are you finding that it's helped some of your friends deal with bullying, or has it helped other kids? And have other kids reached out to you or spoken to you to tell you about their experience?
Yes, a lot of other kids have told me about their experiences, and my friends. Yeah.
And what do they say? How has the book helped them?
Well, it's helped them. I think it's helped them because of what I've been through. Maybe it will help them what they're going through.
Yeah. And Mom, have other parents reached out to you to thank you or tell you about their experience or their children's experience when it comes to bullying? And how has the book helped?
I think a lot of parents reached out, get a lot of phone calls and like lengthy phone calls, because it's hard actually, this bullying thing, and it goes beyond what Lelo's experience is. We've gone to schools and spoken at schools, and then you hear teachers talking about incidents that are far beyond what I thought bullying was. And the parents are struggling and trying to find a place where they can go or who to talk to. So, yeah, it's the parents reaching out, wanting help. So we've come across a place that's called a campaign. It's Project Braveheart. They can go to the website and check it out. That helps a lot of parents and children that are going through bullying.
And how can we get our hands on the book?
The book, if you go to, Lelo's got an Instagram page, which is at Lelo Kingston, or you can email me at liara@yahoo.com, and then you can get all the information there regarding the book.
And Cassandra, in wrapping up, so for parents who have children that are being bullied, what kind of help can they get?
Well, I just want to say two things quickly. One, we have to intervene not only the kids who are being bullied, but the kids who are also bullying. So there's two things you want to hold in mind. I think you want parents to intervene in both ways, okay? So for the kid that is bullying, you want parents to actually also talk to their kids, take an active stand, and try and encourage their kids not to bully and figure out why they're doing it, because that's what's perpetuating the problem. In terms of the kids that are being bullied, that was your question, and how we help them, I think you want to encourage them not to escalate the behavior. So some parents will respond by just fight back, or you know that a bully is a bully, so you just fight. I think that escalates the situation. What you want to do is you want to teach your kids to just not have a buddy system, so don't go places alone often. Try and stay in more where there are more teachers present, have friends around you. You want to, if someone approaches you, try and walk away, or try really hard to practice skills where you breathe through it. And then you want to really help them build their confidence. So like writing a book and publishing it, encouraging them to speak their stories and reach out is really important.
I think the resounding message is that there is a safe space. You can speak out.
100%.
Thank you very much for joining us on this show. You definitely need to get a copy of this book. Thank you to my guest author, Lelo Mofokeng.